Hey guys, Jordan here. Welcome to episode 1 of building the ultimate $1,500 sim racing rig. This series is all about taking that next step in sim racing. Maybe you've been racing at a desk or clamping a wheel on for a while, but now you're ready for a proper cockpit setup, something that looks, feels and drives like a real car. Now, as an enthusiast, I wanted to put this series together for anyone who's looking to step up their setup, not from a pro sim racer point of view, but from someone who's learning and upgrading along the way, just like you. Now, over the next few weeks, we'll be looking at building a full setup from the ground up. But don't worry, if you're here for the usual tech content, the sim racing series will run alongside it, alternating uploads as I ramp up to 3 videos a week. That way there's less wait between episodes and everyone still gets the content that they're into. Now, this series has kindly been sponsored by MSI, who have a couple of great promotions running, including ways to earn free Steam credit when you buy or share your MSI gear. First up, shout out by MSI. If you bought any MSI products recently, you can share your thoughts about them by leaving a review and claim Steam credit worth up to £35. There's also Empower Your Final Quest, when you can get up to £70 in Steam credit when you buy eligible MSI components like select Intel motherboards, AMD motherboards, coolers, cases and power supplies. Stay tuned because I'll actually be using some of those eligible parts in the series later on, but now's the perfect time to upgrade and also grab some free credit while you're at it. Check out the links in the description box to learn more, and a big thank you to MSI for sponsoring this series. Okay, so let's get into it. Episode 1 is going to start with the foundation of every good sim racing setup, the cockpit. We're going to be working with a budget of around $1,500 for this series, which gets you a cockpit, monitor stand, 31.5 inch monitor and of course wheel, motor and pedal set. That's assuming you've got something to power it, whether it's a console or a PC. There are cheaper ways to do this too. For example, Amazon sell a cockpit for around $300, which could save you a big chunk if you don't want to spend quite as much. I'll point out other places where you can save or spend more as we go too. So part 1, why does a cockpit matter? Desk clamps and wheel clamps are fine for starting out, but once you've got a direct drive motor or low tail pedals, you'll certainly want a stable base. The cockpit just stops the flex, wobble and the constant retightening of clamps, and even a budget cockpit can help massively, really improving the experience. You'll feel more in control, the force feedback feels more natural just when everything's tight, solid and locked down. Now, there are a few different main types of cockpit on the market. First of all, you've got your foldaway and compact rigs. These are designed for small spaces and lightweight or even fold up when not in use. Great for console players that don't want a permanent setup or would get moaned at if they took up a lot of space in the house. Now, in the mid to high range, you'll start seeing sturdier builds, often made from steel or aluminium or aluminum. For example, Fanatec use rounded steel tubing similar to what you'd see in mid-range setups, but with much higher build quality and rigidity. They sit in that crossover point before you get to the fully modular 80/20 style aluminium rigs at the top end. Now, for this series, we're going to be using the Nitro Concepts E-Racer cockpit. This is built around an 80/20 style aluminium frame with a hybrid design that's got enclosed panels for a cleaner, more finished look. And what surprised me is how affordable it is for an 80/20 style rig. The full bundle you can get from Overclockers UK for $589.99, which includes the frame, seat slider and a bucket seat. So it's one of the more cheaper ways to get into that level of quality, and you can also add things like a shifter mount, lighting kit or even some more immersive accessories that I'll go over later. Now, the cockpit assembly was fairly straightforward. Certainly put aside a few hours for it though, because there's a lot of steps, and make sure to sort the screws ahead of time, as I inadvertently used a smaller one in place of a longer one, which meant I had to disassemble parts to find it later on. Also, if you're planning any optional accessories designed for the frame, definitely put the attachment brackets in for them now, so then you don't have to take it apart later on. Now, the kit itself comes with clear instructions and all the tools you'll need. Personally, I swapped the drill for a compatible iFixit bit, which saved a lot of time. Just be careful to not over tighten, especially with high torque drills. Now, during the build, I did go slightly off script from the instructions. I decided to mount the seat rails and seat halfway through the process, just so I could get a feel for the pedal placement. I mocked up the pedal plate with my Aztec pedals just to figure out where everything would sit. And as someone who's 6'6", I found that I'd had to push the pedals right to the front of the frame. Now, luckily I didn't have to go to the extent of swapping the upright motor mounts around for extra length. Just sliding the pedal assembly forward as far as I could gave me enough space, and after testing a few positions I found that I could keep the seat rails roughly centered on the frame, which means it still slides forward for any smaller drivers that may use it, plus giving me the legroom that I need as a lanky boy. Now, if you're on the taller side like me, this setup works surprisingly well without having to modify anything major. It's also worth doing a quick test fit before tightening everything down, just so you can save yourself some extra work later on. Now, the seat that they include with this kit is a bucket style design, which is comfortable and supportive for long stints, which is important when you're putting hours into sim racing. You can also remove the padding to wash it as well, which is especially important for those sweaty try-hard races. So let's go over some of the optional extras for the E-Racer frame. If you're planning to run a stick shift, the gear shift holder E is designed specifically for the E-Racer. It bolts on rock solid so your shifter stays in place under aggressive use. There's also an LED lighting kit if you want to add a little bit of flair, and also immersion upgrades such as the wind bundle, a set of fans that will change speed based on your in-game telemetry, and also the Meta Haptics seat pads which give you haptic feedback so you'll feel every bump and curb. And at the very end you can go for a motion platform that physically moves the whole rig to match the car, something I'd certainly like to add on to this at some point. That's also the closest you're going to get to being in a real cockpit at home. Not essential, but certainly great knowing you can upgrade to something like that over time. So overall, I think the E-Racer from Nitro Concepts is going to be a great mid-range cockpit and a good basis for our sim rig moving forward. We can grow with that as we want to add more accessories, whether we want the more basics or we want to go full immersion with the shifters, wind kits for example, and the motion platforms. It is certainly in a good sweet spot between price, stability and flexibility, and I think going to be a really good choice for our $1,500 build. So that's Cockpits and Mounting Solutions covered, a huge step towards making your sim rig feel like the real deal. Next time we'll be diving into the wheels and motors with the Aztec Initium bundle, and later in the series we'll also be setting up the displaying system that powers it, assembling the full rig, testing accessories like shifters and handbrakes, and of course wrapping it up with a full review. Also a quick reminder, for the next few weeks I'll be uploading 3 videos a week, alternating between my usual tech content and the sim rig series. That way there's something for everyone and also less waiting between episodes for you guys that are looking forward to this. If you want to follow along, please hit subscribe and turn on the notifications. I'll also leave the product links down below if you want to check anything out for yourself. This is going to be the biggest project I've done on the channel yet, and I'm really excited to take you along for the ride. I hope you're all looking forward to it as well. Thank you all for watching. If there's anything else you want to know that I haven't covered in this one, then please leave a comment. I'll go back to you. Also, if you're building your own setup or you have one already, let me know what you're running down below. I'd love to hear from you. Big thank you to Nitro Concepts for the E-Racer cockpit and MSI for sponsoring the series. Please check out those links. Get yourself some free Steam credit. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.